try to pull the sea. When everyone has lost their heads around us, you will find him, you'll find him next to me, next to me. Ah, next to me. Ah, next to me. Ah, you will find him, you'll find him next to me.
Olá, pessoal. Bom dia.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. For those of you who don't know me, I am a consultant, safety consultant, and relationships with investors. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you, by side,
Pessoas queridas.
and our investors.
Pessoalmente, né?
Well, unfortunately, we didn't have the opportunity to be in person, face to face, but now we have this opportunity, so that's why we are here today. So for those of you who are online on Zoom, we are also online streaming on YouTube as well. It's good to have you here, and you are also able to share your thoughts on the chat. And we will also have a Q&A session by the end of this session, okay? We'll open for Q&A, and we will be able to solve your doubts and answer your questions as you might have. So we have some quick instructions. Our online event, we have a simultaneous translation into English. So for those of you who would like to access, you can have it. It is also being on YouTube, so you have English or Portuguese. We will record the event. It's going to be recorded and we will make it available on our website. So
Aqui tem o QR Code para quem quer baixar.
we also have a QR code here. So we also uploaded that on the website. And for those of you who are online, if you could please open your camera and scan it, so we will also have the opportunity to vote. So this is our today's agenda, and for those of you who are here in person, we will also have lunchtime, and this is our agenda. Okay, the morning session, we will go through very important issues, and we will also have the Q&A session in order to discuss what is relevant for us, our strategy, our innovation. We will also provide you the update of our new platform. We will talk about business, packaging, ESG. We will be able to show you the Apara's chain and this link between that and Brazil. We will talk about people and management. And by the end, we will also have a presentation of diversity and sustainability and also economy, which is something different that we look for according to the financial point of view. So be very welcome. Thank you very much for your audience, for those of you who are online following us. And we have here a big team. And we also have innovation, we have other people here. So it's also important for you to interact with us. And we will also talk how we are through messages. So to start, I'm going to invite our CEO, Sergio Ribas. He's going to be talking about strategy and trends. Hello, good morning. Be very welcome, all of you. It's a pleasure to be here with you in our plant. And now we are going to start the presentation. Thank you very much. Okay, so who we are. Well, part of you already know us and we are one of the key sustainable packaging industries and papers. So we are a packaging industry, sustainable packaging. Uh, Paper is one of the key raw materials of the world, and we are putting a lot of focus on it. So that's why we are focused on sustainable paper. As for transparency, we are customer centered, and that is the concept that we learned on 2016. Well, it is something almost philosophical. We have our competence, so we provide high quality solutions. However, once that is aligned to the culture company, to the culture of the company, that makes the whole sense, because we provide high quality services in an ongoing way. So building value is in a long term. And the more relationship that we have, the more we establish that connection with the customer, the better we will be. So we are acknowledged as one of the key organizations in terms of quality of services, product partnership. So we also manufacture products that are renewable, 100% sustainable, respecting the environment and people. People is our big differential. As for the machinery projects, because our biggest differential is our people. It's about the shine that people have, and the how people feel proud about the process of development that the company has been through the last years, and that is our culture. Like, and we have also emphasizing our practices of empowerment, people's development, and that makes a whole difference considering our top results that are very admirable. And we also have the admirable results committee. So it's really good to know that people are on the right way. So that is why results are admirable. Or people might think, because once you are in charge of a single role, then you are uh, you are seen as a very good professional. So we are the company that has got the award of the best industry on the market, and we know the quality of companies in this sector and how difficult that is. So it is we are very proud to have got this award. And same way, we have this vision of the future that we've built for the last 15 years. We want to be the best and the most admirable company in the sector. I'm not mentioning that we are the best, but we want to be the best. So by saying that, we are able to have a movement throughout the organization and have more qualification with our customers. And also the ESG. The ESG is a very important award, and by its definition, because we work with sustainable practices for many years, we have some reports that are being released, and also state-of-the-art technology since 2016. So we have this practice, and the indicators, they support us in order to advance considering the sustainable practices. We have a core plant that is based in Santa Catarina. We have the forest area. We have a paper plant. One is knife paper and recyclable paper. We have here also other areas that we will be able to know. We have a forest-centered plant, and in Rio Grande do Sul we have our headquarters in Porto Alegre, and our plant, our forest and the resin plant for the production of brew. We also have a plant in Indaiatuba and a plant for recyclable paper in Santa Luzia. So that is our footprint, our current footprint, and we want to amplify this map by the next years. So we are the pure player of packaging, B3 market. Perhaps we are the only company in the sector, and we've positioned ourselves in this scenario because we also produce corrugated cardboard, and we have also a margin of 6% of EBITDA. We have 5,055,000, and that is very relevant for us. We have 25.5% of ROIC of the industry, and perhaps that's the biggest ROIC in Brazil and perhaps in the world. So we have a position today, even considering our paper, that is very different considering other organizations. We position ourselves not having a direct competition. We also have independent suppliers, small-sized and medium-sized organizations. So then we have an ongoing supply chain. So this year we've received the award of the best management. It's the second company in the history of the state of Santa Catarina that has received this award. It's a very difficult award to have. And we also received the second award of NEFAC from the stock exchange. And that is a work that we have been developing for many years, accounting, financial departments. And it's a pleasure for us because we are in the stock market for not for a long time, and we have this acknowledgement. So we have more than 33,000 hectares of land, 45% for preservation, conservation, and the third biggest paper producer for corrugated cardboard. And we discontinued one of our operations some years ago, but now we have this expansion considering the Santa Catarina unit. We are also one of the five biggest exports of Brio and terebinth. So here, our strategy, I like to talk about that because our strategy makes the culture to be transformed, and we work with cycles of transformation, and that occurs upon planning that we have been conducting since 2014 with discipline and well-focused. That has been helping us a lot in order to have this growth, the sustainable growth of the organization. And the purpose is to transform the people's lives with sustainable solutions and attitudes. We have that in our DNA. We have a circular economy business. We produce the wood, pulp, and that all returns to the recycling process. And that is something very transforming. We want also to build relationships with value. It's not only our mission to have corrupted cardboard manufacturing. We also want to deal with relationships because it's about people. And when we are very close to people, one of the first values is about transparency, confidence that we have between both parties and the genuine acknowledgement of the other party. So once we have that emphasized in our culture, the focus on how to do business, then we are able to change this culture. And that is based on trust. Trust is key in any organization. Brazil is going through a very important role, and we have this distrust concept, but trust is very important for the industry. And also the segments that we act on in terms of value. First, life. Second, sustainability, diversity, inclusion, integrity, customer focused, customer centered, and innovation. That is our strategic intention.
The former CEO of the company is the president of the board of the directors, which is the controlling family. Erito, the vice president of the controlling company, and we have other presidents and members and the former executive of the group of the legal area that is also participating in the board of directors. They are very experienced, and we are working together for 18 years, me and Divan. And we have been working with Fabiano and Henrique and Lindomar for 5 years because they were promoted in the hierarchy of the company. That was really important because we have talents in the organization and we can replace executives using our employees in the company.
Nossa política de dividendos, eu estava até conversando com alguém.
Our policy for dividends, I was talking to someone about this, and we have a policy to distribute up to 50% of our profit. So we have a commitment of having a capital structure optimized, which is better than the one we have.
Nós não queremos ultrapassar 2,5 vezes, porque nós entendemos que essa cautela.
We understand that being cautious about the financial policy is extremely important for the development and growth of the company. So we have 25% at each quarter, and we complement with 25% at the closing of the year. There is no responsibilities that are overlapped of the directors and presidents, and also the EBITDA has a target of minimum cash balance of 150 million. We are above the average. The average term of the debt is 30 months. The derivatives operations, they only happen approved by the board, and our rating target is BRAA because of our size. So we reached the maximum that we could reach with the size of Irene. The committees associated to the board in terms of governance.
Do follow-on que nós fizemos em 2020. E é muito
We started that on 2020, and it is very important for the development of the company to have an auditing committee, and we have an internal department of auditing with professionals from the market, and they are helping us to improve controls, improve practices. And also we have the committee of people and the committee of strategy, and they work together with the executives, with the strategic formulation of the company. We have a video now.
Basta olhar o mundo ao seu redor e você.
You just have to look the world around you, and you see it is a changing world. And above all, it is asking for change.
É mais que chegada a hora de entender o
It is time to understand our role in the planet and realize that our attitudes are more and more important. After all, they impact the present and the future of everyone. This commitment of generating a positive impact in the planet and in people's lives is part of our essence. For more than 8 decades, we in Irony, we have a sustainability solutions for papers, packaging, and resins. We are inserted in a circular economy model of business, and our cycle is produces with forest-based and renewable energy. These solutions, they make us a company, a positive carbon company, and we are pioneers in the trade of carbon. We are the second in our sector. To reach the results, our concern with sustainability comes from the choice of our raw material, which is biodegradable and recyclable. We work with proper handling of forests. We have certificates and we respect the environment. And we do that since the extraction of pulp and resins, and they are directed for the manufacturing of cardboard and corrugated cardboard. Our journey was built upon partnerships and valuable collaborations. Today, we have employees that share the same goal we have. And this network is present around Brazil in strategic located units to ensure that the segments in the business are highly efficient. We care about social and environmental practices, and we are one of the biggest companies that are more sustainable in Brazil. It is the third in paper and the sixth in cardboard, corrugated cardboard. 70% of our packages are directed for the food industry. When we take a look at the Brazilian Stock Exchange, B3, we are the only company focused on sustainable packaging in Brazil, listed in the stock exchange. And this is a result of collective work and innovative work. And do you know what's best? All this journey and these results, they go hand by hand with our financial performance. We are growing above the GDP, and in our expansion plan, we have competitiveness, we have technology that is pioneer, and we are committed to the development and growth in economic terms. We have profitability, solid balance, and valuation. We also have been following century trends such as e-commerce and deliveries and the demand for sustainable packaging. When we look at innovation, we are competitive and we ensure pioneering in several initiatives. We are always looking for the next steps. We prospect, we connect, and we accelerate startups that work in synergy with our business model to identify opportunities, to plan, implement projects. We have 4 research and development and innovation platforms. We are committed to the final user to provide them with sustainable packaging that are 100% recycled. We have bags and packages that when they are correctly disposed, they go back to our productive chain and they close the cycle and also represent above 70% of the raw material we use in the company. When we take a look around, we understand that combining technology, sustainability, and innovation is not a trend. This is a reality that nature needs and that the market demands. ESG is more than just an acronym. This is the new order of economy, and we are part of this movement now. After all, developing sustainable solutions and contributing in a relevant way to the world is what moves us ahead. Let's invest in this future together.
Muito bom. Então, o convite aqui é que vocês invistam, né, no nosso.
Great. Now I would like you to invite you to invest in our future. Now let's talk about trends. The movie talked about this. So paper and packaging, they are biodegradable. They have high rates of recycling. They remove the CO2 from the atmosphere using planted forests. We are right in the beginning of sustainability. The whole world is replacing packages that are more sustainable, especially replacing plastic. So we have a structural trend in the demand that it is really strong. And we don't have a higher migration because the capacity doesn't achieve the potential of the demand that we have to replace the plastic for paper. I have been with a client, a very important client in Brazil, a multinational company, Henrique, and Henrique said that they wanted to stop importing paper, especially because of the problems that are happening now in Europe and shutdowns of plants in the winter. We want to buy paper in Brazil, they said, and they want to replace their lines with paper material instead of plastic. And we said, yes, sure, we want to be with you, but I cannot meet your demand in the volume you have at this moment. So this is a trend and also a reflection for all the companies who work with plastic and packaging. They are not sustainable from the environmental point of view. So the prognostic of the paper and cardboard sector is extremely positive because of this trend and also because of the e-commerce trend. Here I have the World Economic Forum highlights talking that the paper is one of the most recycled papers materials in the world, and we had over 50 million tons of paper recovered, and 91.4% in 2021 of corrugated paper has been recycled. We have countries such as United States, Canada, Colombia, and also African countries that are demanding the replacement of non-sustainable packaging to the sustainable packaging in their legal legislation. Now in Latin America, Chile, Peru, Colombia, Mexico, and Brazil, they are following the same trend. And research made by Fast Markets talks about the potential of replacing non-sustainable packaging for paper packaging. And Brazil is one of the countries that are actually they are available. People want to pay for that. And Brazil is in the middle of that. We have around 65% of concerns with recyclable material, and also people are willing to pay more if the packaging is sustainable. So this is a trend that is here to stay. It's different from that wave of sustainability we have in the beginning of the century that was focused on the better use of resources, like reducing the use of water, using nature in a better way. It was more focused on environmental trends, but now we have a society demands. The society is pushing forward this replacement, and the companies, they have to change. This is a very big opportunity for us. And another trend that is structural one is the e-commerce. E-commerce broke barriers during the pandemic, which is the people getting to buy online because they didn't want to do that before, but in the pandemic, they actually started doing that. In the marketplace, they improved, the logistics improved, and the perspectives of growth is very big. Of course, a little bit changed because of the return of activities on face-to-face models, but the trend is to grow 2 digits in the next years. So we have on the one hand, sustainable packages, and on the other hand, the e-commerce that it is pulling up this trend. The packages, the sustainable ones, they are involved in transportation because they were only transported between the supply chain, but now the packaging goes to the final user. So if we see the marketplace, we see corrugated paper everywhere, and they are reaching the final users. Here we have the same dynamics, the percentage of e-commerce, and the perspective is to grow largely in the next years. If we consider China is over 50% now. In terms of innovation, we have a challenge. We have a lot of opportunities and challenges as well, because replacing plastic is complicated because paper doesn't have the same function as the plastic. But the companies, they need to innovate and break barriers to create products that are as functional as plastic and that they can be replaced, such as the paper straws. They are improving a lot. In the beginning, the paper straws, they were not functional. They melted, but now they are improving. Well, I guess they are not showing me the time here, but well, I give the floor to the next speaker, and I thank you for hearing me. It's a pleasure having you here. Also for those who are present online in Zoom and YouTube. We are going to talk everything about the company today. This is a very different company. It's focused on growth, development, profitability, and mainly to make people who are working in the company that they feel proud of what they do and that they can deliver even more, because this is a collective dream.
Bem, agora como o Sérgio mostrou, eu acho que o setor de embalagens no mundo...
Well, as Sergio mentioned, the packaging sector in Brazil is being very challenged towards the dreams that we want to achieve, considering the friendly use of packaging and paper. And perhaps the industry was not well prepared for that, and that has emerged after pandemic. So it's a call for attention, considering the industries in Brazil, the population. And 2021, we had 110 billion of reais in this sector. And most part of these packagings, they are not sustainable. They are not recyclable. And we have the discharge of plastic on the sea, which is a problem of the not only the society, but it's a worldwide problem. So I also would like to now invite Andrea. She's going to be talking about our focuses of innovation. And what the society requires towards sustainability. Hello, good morning, everyone. It's good to be here talking about innovation. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you. So, as Sergio mentioned, it is part of our strategic pillar. It is a value. It's part of our culture, our daily culture. It is within our DNA. And innovation, we need to understand that resilience and errors, be able to understand what we are doing. So that is our drive. And I'm going to show you some cases that we are taking into account, considering all the pillar of management. So we have these steps here, and I'm going also to be talking about some cases. So starting with this panorama, we have 3 horizons of innovation. So we have initiatives that are focused on H1, which is the horizon, our core business. We also have initiatives on H2. We have a more incremental bias, considering technology and what we are able to aggregate and incorporate. And H3, it is the incentives with bias of disruption. So it's about the structures and also open innovation is key. And we're putting a lot of energy and investment. And we have well-structured initiatives, and I'm going to be talking about them. So we are also aggregating and building upon open innovation. This is our current ecosystem, and it changes every day. So you have a portfolio of partners that we have, considering the innovation. And I'm going to be talking about each one of them. So the first one, Irani Labs, is our open innovation program for connection with startups. And we have more than 220 startups subscribed. 9 POCs, 2 cycles, 2 editions, and 75% of conversion. So these startups are very mature. We have services that we are able to test, and they are functioning, so that we are able to hire their services and insert all of them on a daily basis. So we have here one example, the last POC. At every call, we change it in order to pay attention to different technologies. So what is key for us is customer experience. We have this DNA, customer-centered attitude, because we are always seeking on how to improve the customer experience. And also technologies augmented reality for projects. We have packaging design, in which we take into account management platforms for project development and improve the customer's experience as well. New materials and barriers, additives, resins that we are able to put in our manufacturing process in order to improve the process of manufacturing, the manufacturing process. And we were also testing IoT technology in order to optimize our stock and finished products. These are one of the examples of POCs that we have tested and we are incorporating on a daily basis. Well, in addition to that, we are constantly open and having a connection with the startups. We have here two things that we test, solutions that are parallel to our systems. So this startup is based in Singapore, and that has that complies data of our production process, and it complies. And there is also the sensoring and monitoring process. We have sensors in all our devices. It foresees the need of support, so it monitors temperature and other things. So everything that we do with startups, we put that into a fast track. It is somewhat different. So it has to be softer, lighter. So we have well designed. Since 2020, we started to have that. And today, we have a reduction time, hiring a startup 65% more agile, considering a traditional process. That is extremely important for us. We need to be well connected with this synergy of startups. And we also have some feedbacks, assessments, and we have been receiving very good performance results. So we want to be well updated and be able to meet all the requirements of the startups. So the ESG Ventures we've launched August last year, and we have 10 million for the first accelerations. We ran two cycles. The second one was this week, so we have 8 startups. And by the next 2 days, we will be able to release more results. So we have startups in different stages that might or might not connect to ESG. So we need to have the focus on the sector itself. Services technology that will aggregate value to the whole chain. So that is another work. And we also have four technological platforms for development and innovation. In each one of them, we have the core, and we are running 48 projects. And each of these platforms, we have a multidisciplinary team, technical, and I'm going to tell you about some cases that we've launched for the development of the work of these platforms. So as for pulp and paper, we have the antibacterial for corrugated cardboard. So we were the very first company in Brazil to have this technology in the paper industry. As for the corrugated cardboard, we have this wave, and it is good for packaging for perfumes, beverage, and so on. As for the forest and resin, we have a project, a patent, and we've developed hydromechanic resin. It is very innovative for this platform. And as for energy, we had a connection from a startup, and we are developing a plant in order to process all the plastic residues and also the synthetic material. So now we have some cases here. Technology, antibacterial technology is on the market now, and Xalingo and Mobri, they manufacture pet toys and kids toys. And today we want to have a product, a safer product to deliver to customers. We want to expand our client base. Another case here, it is running, it is in pilot phase in São Paulo. We had this partnership with Papyrus. They've manufactured the internal corrugated cardboard, and they sell it. They sell these boxes with renowned cuisine chefs' recipes. So culture and innovation is very important for us. So we have an investment of actions, programs for all of our collaborators. And the key initiative of culture is the Innova Ideas. It is now 10 years of organization. So we have this gamified program in an internal platform, and any collaborator will be able to send an idea, and the idea will go through the technical department. We will analyze the inputs, the insights as a motivator sensor for all the collaborators. So for you to have to know the number of this platform, we had more than 6,000 ideas subscribed, and the result of millions for the company. So we are very content considering that, and these are some awards that we've received this year. Some of them are brand new, so we are very content to be able to share these initiatives with all of you, and we are at your disposal if you'd like to know any special project that we have conducted. Thank you very much.
Muito bem.
Thank you, Andrea. Innovation is being talked in all companies, and we have a big challenge ahead of us to connect to this world of startups and those who are starting now in this journey. And now talking about forest paper. Please, I give the floor to Henrique Zugman, the director of the area, and he will talk a little bit more about it. And Henrique will also talk about Gaia platform as well. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to be on this side because everyone was on the other side, so I'll be on the left side. So I'll be presenting now Gaia platform. Sergio mentioned all the economic indexes and admirable results the RNA has been having along the years. And what is the Gaia platform? The Gaia platform will use the current platform, and we will add competitiveness to that. So we'll be even more competitive. So the indexes that was presented here after Gaia platform will surely improve. So we have 9 platforms, and we'll be talking about production, energy efficiency. We have 9 projects, and here in total we have 976 million. Here we have the deliveries of each product. So for Gaia 1, we are calling the expansion of chemicals, recovery in the Santa Catarina plant, renovation of plant 2, repowerment of Cristo Rei, repower of São Luís, the process information management system, implementation of ETE, a new die cutting printer, and automation of intermediate stock. I have an individual slide for each one of them, so I'll be explaining them in detail now. Talking about the first one, which is the biggest project we have, Gaia 1, the expansion of recovery of chemicals and utilities. We have 56% of the projects that has been already executed. We have increased the generation of our own energy by 56%. So we don't have to buy energy. We are producing ours, and we will even stop buying completely because we will generate our own. We have been purchasing 1/3 of energy from the market, and with this project, we'll no longer buy energy outside. And also we will be able to sell energy to the market. We had an increase of 29% of pulp production, and we'll have virgin fiber paper, which will add value to the company. Also, this project started with lines prepared for a second expansion. This is the current boiler that we have. It is under renovation. You are invited to visit. It's very pretty. You can see from the picture. It's really, really, really pretty. You will love it. It is starting prepared for a second stage to double the pulp production, and our wood patio is also prepared to the second stage of expansion. And the project is going very well. We are in the budget, the deadlines are great, and it is working fully now. It will be working fully by 2023. Also, Gaia 2 is the expansion of Santa Catarina plant. So we are going to increase by 53% the production of corrugated paper, the cardboard, and the performance of the project is going better than we have planned. It is going well. We are already seeing results of this project. And in terms of budget and deadline, we are going great. Now, in the renovation of the machinery 2, Gaia 3, we talked about e-commerce and delivery. And this machine, for those who are present here, you have received the paper bag done by Craft Paper, and we use the machine to produce that. Now we are on the shutdown of machine 2. It's going well, and we are going to start off the machine again soon, so that we can meet the demand of bags for the retail sector. And we are leaders in the sector, and also we are within the budget and the deadline. The next one is repowering of Cristo Rei. We have this plant here. We are working on the environmental license now, and we are actually going to increase by 84% the generation of this hydroelectric power plant. And here we have the schedule. We are within the schedule, and we are working closely with the environmental license now. Now, talking about repowering of São Luís, we can achieve a better result because of the river. We'll have an increase of 233% of the average generation of the power plant. And we will be selling energy for sure at the completion of those 2 projects. We are also working step by step with the environmental licenses, and we are going well on this matter. Now, Gaia 6, the management system for information of processes. Andrea talked about innovation here, and we are always concerned about the industry 4.0. In this system of management of processes and information, we can make more fast decisions because we have results in real time, we have the data, we can have this real-time management, and we will gain in productivity and costs as well. So this project is 55% completed, and it will be concluded by the end of 2022, this year. When we started this project, we already started seeing results, and this is a continuous process. It will never stop. Now, Gaia 7, we have the ETE amplification, which is the treatment of effluent base. We have been following the capacity of irony. We need to improve in the technological part. We have concluded 20% of this project, and the conclusion is by the end of next year. Now we have Gaia 8, the die cutting printer. It's a new printer, a more modern one. We are increasing capacity of palletization. We will increase the production of die cutting boxes. We will reduce downtime, and we'll also diversify quality of printing the boxes in 4 colors. We have almost 50% of completion, and the conclusion of the project, it will be by the end of this year, 2022. If you can visit, you'll be able to see this work on real time. Now, the next one is Gaia 9, automation of intermediate stock. This is an automation of the process of the printers and the corrugated cardboard machines. We have 15% of the execution of the project. The conclusion will be in 2026. We are within the budget and the deadline. These are the 9 projects of Gaia. We are going well. We didn't have any accidents. We are working with a lot of responsibility. And in Santa Catarina, now we have more than 1,000 third-party workers working, and they are going very well, and they are being well managed. Now, talking about the business, here it is important to mention that the three main projects, they are being completed now. So in terms of return, the Gaia 1, 2, and 3, they will be completed this year, and Gaia 1, which will give more results, will be completed in the middle of next year. So we'll be having commissioning, and this phase of learning and commissioning will be very fast. So Gaia 1 will start next year, by the mid next year, as we mentioned. Now, talking about businesses, we talk a lot about offering value, focusing on the client, and being a preferable brand. And this is our essence. This is what makes us different in the market. And all the customers, they see that, they observe that, the suppliers as well, the employees. We talked about focus on the client, but what does it mean? It is about delighting the client. And how do we do that? I'm not going to read, but I'm going to give you an example about focus on the client. We have a customer that we work to average converters of bags in Brazil. And they don't have a full plant location installation to reduce costs and improve processes. So we use our experience in continuous improvement of our plant, and we go to the client for a week, we visit them, and we improve all their productive processes, and they get so happy about it because they see that we are improving their productive process, and they ask themselves, why do they do that? They are not even charging me for that. So this is just an example what focus on client means. And this is what you can see, the NPS of 82%. And here, the foreign clients, they are also included. According to our last survey, we had, we had a logistic problem that was caused by the pandemic. And even with our exporting customers, we had an NPS of 82%. This is a very high number. And this shows that everything we say here is true. It is proved, the clients approve, and it's very nice to see it. When we talk about client focus, it seems like we are being repetitive, but we are also creating a focus on the customer because we ask the clients what do they want. Normally the clients say what do they don't want, like they don't want a cardboard like this or delaying production. This is focus on the client. But when you focus on the client, you look at the client from their perspective, and you can help them grow, such as this example that Henrique mentioned. We can help clients with all that, especially for the small and medium customers we have. Now I'm going to split my presentation with Eduardo Pavão, our commercial manager, and he'll be talking about resin and cardboard. Thank you.
Bom dia, pessoal. Meu nome é Eduardo, como o Henrique comentou.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Eduardo. I am responsible of the commercial area for the residues paper, and I'm going to get into some details here about our paper and residues business. As talking about paper, we are the third in paper industry for packaging industry in Brazil. So we have a 5.2% of market share. As you can see on the right side, we had a very robust and expressive growth, 77% of paper production. And on the market itself, we grew 37%. So that is our growth considering our industry or sector. Sergio commented about that, and the projection of the demand for paper for packaging is still growing. 2021, we had a very expressive growth. The demand of China and then the demand of Latin America is within the GDP. So, and also Europe. So the growth is very expressive considering the demand for packaging. And also remembering that typically with the structural growth that should be above the GDP as it has been considering the last 3 years. So here our client base on the internal market for paper, we have a very solid and a long-term client base. In the internal market, our 20 biggest customers totaled 52% of growth. So as for the exportation, we exported last year almost 17,000 tons. It is very diversified. So, and some countries, Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Chile, Peru, it is there is a diverse of countries that we act. As talking about the internal market, domestic market, we have here different niches. They are well diverse, and I'm going to get into details. So our whole production, 21% for corrugated cardboard, 19% for bags, 4.6 and for delivery and fast food as well, and also resale, 6% bread bags, fabrics, 1.2 for forms, panels, 1%, and well, here you have different areas that we act on, not only packagings, but we are also present in different areas. And market leaders in each market, right? Because there is also the positioning of not competing with our customers. We are the single organization that we have defined that. So we are commercializing corrugated cardboard, and that is one of our differentials. So as for more differentials, we are customer-centered. We have talked a lot about that. And considering some examples Henrique has spoken about, we have technical assistance, preventive and corrective, stable commercial policy. Regardless of the market situation, customers, they know that they can count on us, regardless of the market situation. Yes, and perhaps that is one of the key values, because companies that have conversion, they convert more and they sell a lot, and perhaps they do not deliver to many customers. So that is our core value, considering all the segments that we act on. So we've had some evaluations of organizations, and we've perceived that we have a 20 to 25% of difference of cost considering our competitors. So this is a positioning that aggregates a lot to the company. And as you can also see, we also assured the supply for all our customers. Some highlights and lines of paper. We have the fine craft. It is used for the manufacturing of bread bags. And we also have the national and international certification for this type of paper. And also for food. And it's also important to talk about this paper and the quality of it. As for the flexi flat, we have a more 70 grams. We also have certifications, international and national certifications, and also the bag craft, which is for the retail-based packaging and paper. And we use the recyclable fiber that is also for post-consumption. So this paper, we have some advantages of it. We also sold the flex package, and we are the key supplier for considering delivery packaging. As for the commercial highlights, we sold 897 tons, and most part of the sales, we have a dedicated sales team, and we also developed a project through a customer in Nespresso. We replace plastic to paper. So now I'm going to be talking about resins. Our resins are sustainable, and they are all acquired from forests in the state of Rio Grande do Sul. And as you can see here, the extraction of the raw material that is essential for the material,
Floresta nós temos no litoral.
almost 6,000 hectares, 67% for production, and also infrastructure.
Então nós vendemos de
As for the brew and turbidity, we have here 97% designated to exportation. And for you to understand here,
tintas de impressão,
the use of it, that is for different products. And terebinthine, we had almost 800 tons,
para fixador de perfume,
and that is used for disinfectants, paint, solvents, and so on.
para exemplificar também para você.
So
Exportação, a gente vendeu o breu
as for the exportation, we exported brew to 16 countries and terebinthine for 7 countries in 2021. So we sold it to China, Portugal, Germany, Spain. That is the range of countries. And the terebinthine we sold to India and other countries. And it's also important to highlight that it is a sustainable business. And also considering our market positioning, our forests, we have the EFC, we are the single supplier in the world that we have brew and terebinthine as our differential. So this uniformity and this potential is very important. And also considering the other countries, Europe, they come soon. So we are well positioned in also the international market. Thank you.
Obrigado. Bom, nós temos mais uma apresentação.
Thank you very much. We now have another presentation.
Segurar pouquinho para ir no banheiro, né? Tomar uma aguinha. Na sequência a gente vai.
So we have another presentation before the break. Well, just to emphasize Henrique's speech, our trade market segments, we have a sustainable businesses, corrugated cardboard, renewable and recyclable paper, sustainable, and also the resins, 11 or 12% of our revenue. We also get it from renewable sources. So the whole company has sustainability as its core business. So now, our next guest.
Sejam muito bem-vindas.
Good morning, welcome, all of you who are here with us in person, and you who are online, thank you. So by the next 20 minutes, we will be talking about packaging and some comparisons of corrugated cardboard and the expectations of 2021. We had 158,000 of tons. So we are in the 6th position of one of the biggest corrugated cardboard producing company. And from this year, we have the expectation to have a 4 or 4.5% above the 2021. So the market is will be above 4%. So we have some comparisons of growth in the last 16 years. We had a meaningful growth of our market share, 62.5%, and in the same comparison with our volumes of production, the growth is very constant, 142% the same period. And when we evaluate the project post Gaia, as Henrique showed, it is in its final phase, Our projection to have the performance curve is by 2024 for 191 tons. And also the acceleration of this process. This year, we have an additional volume, and the idea is to anticipate this curve by the next 2 years.
We have also data from the world market of corrugated cardboard and the expectation for the next years, which is 2.2% up to 2035. And I'm going to talk about a negative aspect, which is in Japan. They have a per capita production of they are 4 billion square meters, but they have a very slow growth in the next years. A positive highlight for the China market, which has a growth above the average in the world, such as other countries in Asia. And also, I have a very positive aspect here in Latin America, especially in Brazil, with a growth of 2.5%. But in our domestic market, we have an expectation for more than 3% of growth. And this is a projection elaborated by Getúlio Vargas Foundation, so it's trustable. And we have a very big opportunity here in Brazil. When we talk about 2 million tons, our capacity per capita is 37 meters. So consumption, actually, yes, per capita. So we have a very big space to explore in this market. And Sergio talked about e-commerce. And also we are having a conceptual change because people are concerned about the plastic use and the materials that are not non-recyclable, non-biodegradable. So we have this expectation for the next years. When we look at our portfolio in terms of sales mix, we have a relevant focus on the food sector, and somehow this brings some benefits to us because this is a very resilient segment, especially when the economy is having so many problems. Now we have almost 47%. We are in the food sector, and Papel and Irani is having 72% in the food sector of sales. I know you cannot see it closely in the slides, but we also have animal protein. We have 32% in this sector. And in the unit of Santa Catarina, we are based in a very strong cluster of meat producers. And our volume of poultry represents 30%. And also we have cattle and fish, but it is smaller. And this is related to the region we are based. When we take a look at the South region, we don't have cattle as much as we have in other regions. So we have the poultry and swines in that region. We have a participation of 8% in Marajoara, Italaki, that are big companies in this segment, and we have expressive participation on those sectors. When we look at our portfolio, we feel very safe and confident about our flexibility because we have a very diversified portfolio. We have 20 clients that represent 40%. Our main client has a big participation, and we don't want to overpass 10% in some of them, so we have a fluctuation and flexibility of our portfolio. We have talked here, Sergio and Henrique talked about focus on the client. I don't want to be repetitive, but Sergio showed us how is the dynamic on the focus on the client and what the client wants. And I would like to explore this a little bit more because this is very relevant. When we work focused on the client and when we ask the client what that they want, they don't know what they want. Because they can say we want low cost, delivery on time. That's what they say. But as Sergio mentioned, when we position with our knowledge, our expertise, and when we propose solutions, we are more successful. So I have here 2 cases for you about that. Focus on the client. You were going to say something, Sergio? No, it's perfect. Yes. Yeah, I just wanted to highlight that because our position is different in the market. And it shows that our product is not a commodity. We add value with our products. We have a differentiated pricing in the product that is similar to others. So we say, I can sell anything, fruits, cardboards, because with this concept, I will surely add value. Yes, exactly, because each cardboard is one, and with a specific project, the comparison in the sector is difficult, so you can add value to each project based on this concept. Yes, it's personalized. And I have an example here of a company called Balduco. I guess everyone knows the Panettones they sell by the end of the year in Christmas. And they send us a very regular box to export to the United States, the Panettones. And we saw a space for improvement. So we wanted to understand the demand of the customer, aligned to the need of the customer, and we proposed this package that you are seeing now. We have a die cutting process for this package. We can show you, for those who are present, we can show this package. You can touch and feel. So it is an accessory that can be foldable. It's a display box, as you can see, and you can sell this on the shelves. So you can, this product is already being exported to the United States. It will be in the United States market soon. And we had a turnover of a very high one. So this is a very good case. We have several examples with Balduco. We don't have a supply contract. We don't have a patent with the client. And why the exclusivity? Because we developed this product along with the customer. We imprinted our brand to the client. We don't have agreements or things like this, but we have a trusting relationship with them. Our vision is very clear on that. We want to add value and prosperity, and this is a win-win situation. And we develop that with our clients. And that's why we are highly positioned in the market, and we have more profitability in comparison to our competitors. Another interesting case focused on their client is a project that Henrique mentioned, a cooperative in the west of Paraná. And we have talked to our continuous improvement team to increase the load of poultry. So we had 1 load per day. And we try to increase this load. So we try to understand the client. Is my time over? Wow, that was so fast. So we had an increase in the turnover. We had an increase of 73 boxes in the freezing tunnel. So we achieved an additional load per day. And also we increased the tons sold. So we used less fuel to transport all this load. We reduced packaging cost. We were able to reduce the price to the clients in 8.8%. And our margin was increased And we have increased our margin by 70%. And how did we do that? We actually had a specific composition, a specific dimension to the customer, and that's how we achieved the result. We have the machine that was able to provide improvement for the project. So you increased by 70% the margin. The client was extremely satisfied with us, and we are exclusively selling to this client. Nobody else is selling to them. And we don't have supply agreement or a patent. We have, again, a trusting relationship with this customer. And in addition to those projects, I have other ones that are happening now. We have 86% of ATS. We are very satisfied with that. We want to even increase that. We want to increase all that. So our equipment has the best performance in Latin America.
Tem feito trabalho belíssimo em diversidade e inclusão. E não é fácil fazer projeto como esse na área de operação, né? Hoje nós temos 22% de mulheres na nossa fábrica em Santa Catarina, aqui subindo aí próximo de 20%, já com apoio, aqui agradecendo o apoio do DES aí nessa caminhada, que não é fácil, né? A gente vem trabalhando aí com a cabeça das nossas lideranças, tem feito trabalho muito interessante. O que mais que eu teria para vocês aqui? Acho que tem bastante coisa para falar, mas já estão levantando ali, dizendo que meu tempo encerrou. Então, agradeço aí, pessoal, pela paciência. E vamos seguir aí. Obrigado, Divan.
Muito bem. Antes de nós ir para o intervalo, acho que deu para perceber o quão sutil é o negócio de uma empresa, né? Tem muita coisa que, imagino, vocês estão percebendo, pegando aqui nas falas de cada um de nós, que a gente não consegue transmitir num call de resultados, numa reunião lá num evento de banco, ou, sei lá, né? É só estando em contato, falando com as pessoas, olhando dentro da fábrica, entendendo, ouvindo as falas aqui que foram colocadas. E é um pouquinho disso que a gente quer que vocês peguem hoje, né? Entender o DNA da Irani, né? Aquilo que está por trás dos números, aquilo que sustenta os números, né? Eu acho que é essa a nossa expectativa aqui no dia de hoje, né? Então, dito isso, encerramos a primeira parte, vamos para um intervalo de 20 minutos. O pessoal que está online pode pegar um cafezinho também.
Now we're moving to a break, 20-minute break.
Né, para a turma. E quem está aqui
for those who are present, you can have some coffee, and we will be playing music here online. So we'll be back in 20 minutes.
Summer wind, there's a certain melody takes me back to the place that I know, on the beach. Down on the beach. Down on the beach. The secrets of the summer I will keep. The sun of time will blow a mystery. No one but you and I underneath that moon and sky. Take me back to the place that I know.
desire, a night that burned like fire. Take me back to the place that I know, on the beach. Down on the beach.
It's alright. It's alright. It's Little darling, it's been a long, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years and it's been years. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. Little darling, the smiles return into the faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been clean. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too, can't take my eyes off of you. I love you, baby, and if it's quite alright, I need you, baby, to win along the night. I love you, baby, trust in me when I say here you go again. You say you want your freedom. Well, who am I to keep you down? It's only right that you should play the way you feel it. But listen carefully to the sound of your loneliness, like a heartbeat drives you mad. In the stillness of remembering what you had.
in the sky, burning in your eyes. You look at me, baby, I wanna catch on fire. It's buried in my soul, like California gold. You found the light in me that I couldn't find. So when I'm all choked up, but I can't find the words. Every time we say goodbye, baby, it hurts. When the sun goes down on the bed, won't play. I'll always remember us this way. Lovers in the night, poets trying to write. We don't know how to rhyme, but now we try. But all I really know, you're where I wanna go. The part of me that's you will never die. So when I'm on your top and I can't find the words, every time we say
Alô? Olá, pessoal. Voltamos então para o segundo e último bloco aqui das
Hello, so we are
apresentações.
back. That's the
Essas imagens
second
que vocês estavam vendo aqui na tela
part
são
of
imagens da
our
fábrica
session.
aqui de
These
Indaiatuba.
images that you are
Essas
seeing now
imagens
here is
do-
all the
do
pictures
interior
and
da
the photos
fábrica
of the
que foram
Indaiatuba
tomadas
business
aí. O
unit.
pessoal que tá online também,
And
não vai poder fazer visita,
for those of you
conhecer pouquinho
who
como
will
que é a
not be able
fábrica por dentro.
to have the factory floor
Antes de nós
visitation,
começar com
so
a
just for you to
próxima
get to know.
apresentação,
Before
nós
we
temos
start
aqui
our next
nós
presentation,
temos
we have here
desafio aqui para a turma que está online. Né?
a
Nós temos
challenge for
camisetas
those of you who are
aqui, que fez
online.
muito
We have
sucesso.
some
Já distribuímos várias delas.
some t-shirts
E pra quem
here
tá
that we
online,
gave
no
away.
final
And for those of you who are
do evento, quando a
online,
gente for pro Q&A,
by the end of the
nós vamos fazer uma
event,
pergunta
we will have
e
the
quem
Q&A.
acertar a
And
resposta,
for those of you
mandando e-mail para o
who answer it correctly, and if you have the at irani.com.br, for those of you who send us the email with the correct answer, you will win. You will have our t-shirt. Okay, so you just need to send the email with the correct answer by the end of this session during the Q&A. So now we will move forward with Rodrigo. Rodrigo is the supply chain manager, and he will be able to talk about paper scrap chain in Brazil and the business itself. He's going to be addressing that. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with all of you here in this morning. And this topic, there's a lot of doubts, a lot of questions surrounding this topic. It's somewhat complex, so we will be able to provide you some information, and then we get to know about. Well, as Odiva said today about this change of plastic to paper, and there are some reasons why. Considering plastic, we have 18% of recycling rate, and the CO2 emission, it recycles 87%. It is biodegradable, and it's very positive. So we will talk about this trend of transforming the industry and take it to another level, to the recycling industry. So what are APARAs? What is it? Well, they are return products that we get. So on this picture, you can see all the paper scraps. We have cardboards, bags that are returning to our process as a raw material. I'm going to play a video for you demonstrating our productive process and how it works. That means that we produce our own raw material from forests that we harvest, that we cultivate. Não dá para ler. And also the papers and the plates for sustainable packaging. In the sustainable packagings, they get to consumers as bags for the retail. And after it's used, they return to our productive process. Then we are able to assure quality of all these steps and processes. Paper scrap, paper, recycling. By establishing a very true circular economy. So you were able to see in the respect towards the environment. It's the circular economy, and the paper scrap they return to the plant in order to be used as a raw material. So 71% of our raw material they are returnable, and 22%. So here we have a map. As Sergio commented, we have a plant in Santa Catarina, and we have the percentages in the states. The key producer, they are located in São Paulo, followed by Minas, 25%, and Rio Grande do Sul, 18.7%. So this is a picture of 2021, in which we imported 8% of our paper scraps in this period, and we talk about importation. Next. So today we have a supplier base, and we have a graphic here. Our biggest supplier has got 16%, so we are they are 50%. Considering the supply chain, and among the 20, we have over 70%. So for you to understand here, the Aparas paper scrap chain, where it comes from, they can be collected in our facilities. That's about 15% of the volume, or national volume. And we have still corporate 15%, industries 23%. And those paper scraps, they go through the commercial units in order to get to the industries, because there is also the logistics in between. There is a classification of all of that, and the pressure in order to have these. We need 4 million tons of consumption for the year, and 10% of this volume comes from the industry directly, or the industries, considering a reverse logistics. So 90% goes through the commerce of paper scrap. Following and talking about the domestic market, we have 900 companies that work with paper scrap. 12% are big paper scrap suppliers, and they represent 67% of the volume of paper scrap. They are also responsible for this recycling process. They are responsible for the quality and also the triage of our materials. So they conduct the whole production process, markings. There is also a truck specialized that carries 2,000 tons. When the material is flat. So there's also cost in between, because there is the requirement that the material has to be pressured. So following that and talking about the pricing list of paper scrap, they are in line with the historic rates. The clear line here are the nominal prices, and the other is about the inflation. So considering today's price, it is in the historic range, and there are oscillations. And it's also important to emphasize here that that there is no relation with pulps. We don't have in the Brazilian market, so there is no commerce. And the white pulp, we don't have any relation, considering the brown one and the paper scrap market. So here, as for the importation, we've adopted during pandemic a tool to balance all the prices. As you can see on this graphic, all the prices from paper scrap, May 2020, we imported a very considerable volume for the equalization of those prices, but there is a considerable volume that it hasn't reached 5% of the annual rate. It's a very low volume, and we don't have large importation in order to have these consideration in Brazil, but they can also be used as a regulator mechanism, as we have here this pricing list. As you can see, before pandemic, volumes, they were low, and post-pandemic, it reached those levels, those previous levels. And here, as for the international market, we have the market in the United States, and the right side, Europe.
Eles estão tendendo a retornar, aí estão os preços.
There is a trend to return for August. We had a reduction of price in September and October, also in the international paper scrap. Before pandemic, it costed $60 to $100. And that is for the exporters. So there's also the cost of containers, shipping, importation, but it is returning. So from now on, it can be used as a market regulator for any need or opportunity. So I've been to the United States last August, and I visited some suppliers. I've checked the checking process, the material. There is a larger volume of naive materials, and that can bring quality to the composition and also the testings for the domestic market. So although there is this differentiation of price, there is also this high quality. So that's all from my side. These are the numbers that I've provided to you, and I will be here in case you would like to ask me anything.
Thank you, Rodrigo. Now, we'll talk about people. Fabiano, my colleague from the board of directors, will talk about management of people at Irony and how do we handle this such relevant theme. Good morning, my name is Fabiano. I'm a director of people and strategy. And let's talk now about people. People are those who we are proud of, and they are the potential of our company. We have every day those people with us who are working with us, and the personnel are in the core of our strategy. We structured several programs to follow the journey of our employees during their journey and the time working for the company. We have those programs for more than 10 years, and we have been evolving, including creativity and innovation to those programs to develop and improve them. And each one of those programs, they generate and they want to awake the protagonism of our collaborators, our employees. So all initiatives we have to attract and retain collaborators, they're here. We have an initiative called Gera Diversidade, which opens doors for diversity in the organization so that all the initiatives, they are focused on this program. Claudia will talk a little bit more about this. She's the manager of personnel. We are also having now an initiative named Gera to Accessibility. We work towards providing accessibility in our websites. We are running a diagnosis now, and the results will guide us to improve the processes that are still not ready to have accessibility. We have Cuida program for the health and safety of our employees. So our first value in the company is to safeguard life. So our target is 0 accidents. We want to zero all the accidents up to 2030. And the next program is Cresce. We have corporate schools such as Lidera, iTech, and DNA. iTech for the development of technical skills. DNA program is directed for our strategy, and Lidera is for qualification of our leaders and future leaderships of the organization, ensuring the succession of positions. We have Supera program, in which we we overcome our challenges with development of the skills. And also we want to fully develop all the skills in everyone. So we evaluate the results, we assess the skills, and the last one is named Motiva. We have a lot of initiatives for having a better environment in the workplace. So our campaigns, our events, we have our groups for the internal environment of the workplace. So they develop activities. They do a lot of events and initiatives to improve the workplace environment. And we see results from the recognition of GPTW, Great Place to Work. We have been awarded by this certificate, and we were also recognized in 2021 in the main states where we have our sites, such as Santa Catarina, Rio Grande do Sul. In 2021, we were ranked among the 15 better companies to work. And in the industry ranking, we were among the 40 best companies to work. And here this week, we received a recognition from Rio Grande do Sul. We were ranked 8th in the state. And we are so proud of that, because all this shows how we evolved, how we advanced in organizational environment improvement. And the industry ranking will be awarded soon, but we are really confident with the advancements we made. In the South region, we advanced 5 positions in the ranking. That are other companies that are recognized as excellent to work for. So this is a good thermometer for us, being ranked among the best. We also received the top human being recognition for several years. We have been investing above 1 million in the development of personnel. And another important participation we had was in Humanizadas. It's a survey that measures the quality of relationships under the perspective of stakeholders. So this research, this survey had the goal of putting into perspective the pillars and the verticals of the reputation of the company, the principles, the culture, and the narratives. This survey is on the second edition. We participated for the first time now in the second edition of this survey, and we have been recognized as an A rating, as a good company in terms of humanization with the stakeholders. We have the participation of 1,414 people responding to the survey, including shareholders, employees, society, associations around the company. And this survey takes about 25, 30 minutes, and this people responding to that shows how engaged they are with the company, and it's so good to have all this amount of people responding to the survey. This recognition is something that makes us so proud, because it shows we are actually following the right path, because we want to be a more humanized company. We have also the conscious capitalism survey, and the survey measures the dimensions in the tripod of conscious capitalism. Another recent initiative implemented in 2022 is bringing participative management by involving employees in the decision process, and also in the suggestion and proposal of solutions we have in the company. We have a strategy core formed by the collegiated board, and they guide us concerning the themes to be covered, and the themes, they are autonomous. They are formed by people regardless of the hierarchy. They are multidisciplinary teams, and they bring diversity for the formation of those cores. It is voluntary. The employees, they have to register to show the motivation they have for those themes. And this happens on a regular basis, so that other people can participate, join. It is very important for employees to participate on that. We have now 4 ongoing cores, which is the sustainability core, innovation, people, and diversity core, 4 of them. And now we're going forward to the second stage. We'll have the processes core and the clients core. And the program Transforma has the ambition to qualify, actually transform people's lives, the people who are around the company. So the communities, the neighboring communities, the neighboring society, we have those verticals there. The first one is our social investment committee. This committee is autonomous, and they are able to access the communities, the neighboring communities, and they also can guide all the budgets they have for each committee. So the management is performed by them, and they observe the local demands. Another one is for social projects, the recurring social projects we have for culture, sports, education. We also have projects in the societies and communities around the company. We have initiatives for circular economy, providing solutions to reduce the environmental impact, especially with the shipping of landfill scrap. So we want to zero the non-damaging scraps directed to landfills. We have also initiatives with schools of the community in regards to environmental practices. So our goal is to awaken on the students the sustainability theme so that they can understand about this and be more aware of all that. And the last one is volunteering. We have groups of volunteer in all our plants, and they are also independent. We have a sponsor on the plant, and they are autonomous. They can organize the volunteering work, and they work on the communities. They are very active. They do the accountability of everything they do in the programs, and all the employees, they really like all those initiatives. And also we have the goals, the commitments that launched in 2021. And Cláudia and Leandro will soon talk in detail about these goals. And we'll talk about our evolution in each of the goals we have committed to. And the goals, they started with a 3-year work that we conducted internally in conjunction with the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, and we identify the opportunities to advance on the goals. We always need to sometimes we need to declare a problem, right? So when we announce the goals, we declare that we have problems. And the challenge moves us forward. The challenges, they make the company more intelligent. And this is good because everyone gets involved. We have 6 sustainable development goals here. The first one is occupational safety. We want to have 0 accidents at the workplace. The second one is diversity. We work diversity in a very broad way here in the company. We have works guided for several groups. We have several initiatives, and we understand all that as a commitment. When we started the journey, we had a small amount of women in the company. We have now the goal of having 40% of women in the employees, in the staff. This is very bold for us. But we have this goal. Now we have 25% of women in the company, and we are having a lot of advancements on this now. We are changing processes, and we are being successful on that. And also our goal is to have 50% of women in leadership positions. We had 14%. We are advancing now. We have 18% of women in leadership positions. And this demonstrates how strong we are in a declaration of a commitment we have here in the company. The other one is water. It's a very important natural resource. It is important for the production process, but it is also important for the society, the ecosystem. So we have the goal of reducing 30% of the specific use of water. The other one is energy. We want to use 100% of renewable energy, and the project Gaia 1 will contribute to the self-sufficiency of Santa Catarina plant. The next one is the number 12, and the goal is to zero the the remittance of scraps and waste material to landfills. Climate change is also a goal. We are carbon positive already, and we want to increase that. This is the difference of each emission of the gases, and because our forests, they remove more than we actually emit. So we have the goal of reducing emissions and also providing an increase in the sequester of CO2. Well, that was my presentation. Now we'll see in detail the commitments and the evolution of all that. Thank you so much. Thank you, Fabiano. Now we'll have Cláudia doing her presentation, and she'll talk about diversity. Just commenting, we have an HR. Normally, we have an HR department, and here we have a department called Development of People, and Cláudia will talk about it because we understand that people are more than a human resource. And Cláudia will talk a little bit about this. Good morning, everyone.
De algo que é tão genuíno para nós, dentro da ERENI, que são pessoas. Sou Cláudia Vergara, né, como ele falou. Vamos lá? Ah, sou eu mesmo que tenho que passar, gente. Desculpa aí.
Okay, so today we are going to be talking about a very relevant topic. So as Fabiano said, we have these reached 40% of women, 50% of women considering leadership.
Como começar essa jornada?
How shall we start this journey? Well, I use this term journey because I believe that we need to study about this topic and amplify of knowledge in order to understand that we have a whole history that we can also evolve. So we started in 2019 by participating in different events of diversity, about diversity, and we ran an internal diagnosis with the perceptions of collaborators. And upon that, we've got different action plans, and we started to have a roundtables with all the collaborators. So we had the first meeting with the community. So besides chatting internally, we also called the whole community as we would like to hear others and change our practices. Because today it is an annual event. So we are part of the LGBTQAI plus community, and we also opened programs for the minorities. We also have, and we became last year on the Women's Day a citizen company, and also for men. And we also had a change in the law, and we needed to have some adaptation. So we also emphasize the indicators because we have a goal. And having a goal, we are able to see our challenge and comply with our awareness. So it is indicator, the internal indicator. We also ran educating journey, scholarly data. So today, diversity is part of the models of this program. And we also have mentorship for the board of directors and the whole leadership. We also have the core of diversity. We have the core of diversity along with the roundtables. We want to amplify knowledge and amplify our actions. And also the educating journey of non-leaders and the program of a leadership for all the leaders of the company. And a female mentorship program that we conducted this year. I'm going to show you more details about it. So as I've said, they've turned into indicators. And Fabiano said that we have our diversity tree that we follow, and we have 21% of women. We are very proud. We started in 2020, 17%. And I only believe that we will be able to advance, well, 17 to 21. It is a lot. It is a large number, yeah. And that it is very important to mention. And that's why we are very proud. In the leadership, we amplified from 14% to 18%, 73% of retention 1 year, maternity leave, a public 6.2% of LGBTQAI plus. And we also have another indicator that is an external assessment. So we started in 2020, and as you can see here, our grade was 13.5, and our average rate was 7. So we still have a lot to do. Our diversity course, we have different actions in which they support us. And what do they do? Well, it's a participative management along with collaborators. So it's about the difficulty of the business unit. What are the difficulties of our collaborators and the leadership in order to have inclusion? So we had a plurality journey with the CEO mentorship, directors, and we also want to have an external event. The topic diversity, self-development journey. Once the pandemic reached us, we were thinking on how we would train our collaborators. So we had online webinars. So there were a lot of content and a lot of participation. So then we turned it into a journey, and that happens at least once a year. So along with the support of the LGBTQ community, how is the best way that we can amplify our base, our foundation? So we started our program LGBTQ, and we've launched it this year. So why we've conducted that? Because for years, Irani, it reintegrates its commitment because the company is open for everybody. So that's why we reinforce with this. And also the visualization of projects. And the diversity journey is also important because considering the retention and having this inclusive feel is important. So in Minas Gerais, we had more than 35% of collaborators in the production, packaging, São Paulo, more than 40% of collaborators. In Santa Catarina, we've reached 20% of women, which is a milestone for all of us. And Sabrina is one of our very first trans collaborators in Rio Grande do Sul forest. As you can think of, the state of Rio Grande do Sul is a very conservative state, right? And I am from this state, so I can say that. And Sabrina, she says how she feels very respected within our organization. The women's mentorship program, what should we reach? 40% of women in leadership. So we need to empower women. And this program is for that. So we have an internal consultancy board that we ran a pilot project with 20 women, and they had the mission to take these conversations, to spread this communication to other women in the company. So that reached 100 collaborators that we had roundtables and groups of conversation to talk about this topic. And we believe that that has an impact considering the previous numbers that I've showed you. And the project DAM plus DAM, in the operation, we had the unit manager, which highlights and emphasizes equity of opportunities. We have Maria Luisa to hire trainees in maintenance. And we also have Alpha Project for operational areas by training technically and focusing on training. So this project started in Indaiatuba, and we will amplify it in the other business units. Gera acessibilidade. So we have the percentual 5.2% of employees with disabilities, and we want to strengthen this structure in order to have a more diverse collaboration. And it's not only for those who are with disabilities, but also by amplifying other sectors. So this project is about accessibility, talent, and ARPA, talento and ARPA. We are taking into account all the structures, and the board of directors, they approved the investment for the accessibility, as we also want to have a more inclusive organization. So I would like to conclude by saying that treat everybody with equality and respect, but when you act, use all of that. So that is for all of you. And I work with HR, and we have a career range, people's development, and it's a proud to be working in a genuine company that it is people-centered. So I live that on a daily basis, and I can say that. Thank you very much.
Muito legal, Cláudia, obrigado. Né?
Thank you.
Depois nós vamos ter o nosso momento aí de perguntas e respostas.
We will also have the questions and answers moment. So if you want to ask questions and talk to Claudia or to any other presenter of today, you can do this later. Now we'll talk to Fabiano. He'll be talking about sustainability, and this is a very relevant topic associated to ESG. Good morning, everyone. Good morning for those who are present online and here face to face. I'm really proud to talk about this topic because we have been talking about this for a long time here in the company. We are very, very proud to show the folders of our sustainability reports since 2006, when Ivan said that we should do our first sustainability report, the social balance in 2004, 2005, and they came before this official report of 2006. That was new in Brazil back then, but now a lot of companies are doing the same. And along this journey, we improved our report of sustainability, and we brought and we talked about economic, social aspects. And we also have certifications that Irani developed a long time. We are a company certified in sustainability in all our businesses. And for the ISO 9004, we have the FSE certification of forest handling. We also have the custody production of the chain of packaging. And we are certified by the 9001 certification ISO. If you visit the plant, you will check that certification there. From 2020 on, the methodology we used for the report is the GRI methodology. That was the one we used in the past, but from 2020 on, we brought some different methodologies. And we show the company with 6 capitals: the financial capital, intellectual capital, natural, social, human, and manufacturing capital. So it is divided into 6 capitals. Also related to that, we have the methodology of the financial indexes of SASB and the Sustainable Development Goals. This is a very robust report. It has a very good analysis. This report is solid and it's always audited by a third part. I would like to invite you to learn about this, check our website. As I mentioned, the SDGs have been incorporated to our report from 2020 on, and we believe that the 17 SDGs are strongly connected to our strategy, to our strategic map, our mission, our values. And throughout this period, in the past 3 years, we evolved in the understanding of those goals. And we got closer to a national movement of the SDGs, and we are now a signatory of this movement in Santa Catarina and in Rio Grande do Sul. We are reaching the São Paulo and Minas Gerais area for that too. Those multidisciplinary teams have been created. We have 17 teams. Each team will analyze each SDG, and we have involved more than 60 people in this survey. And our goal is to understand each target for each SDG. And this chart is showing for each SDG, and they have each one a number of targets. The dark green on the bottom of the graph, and in the lighter green in the second level, we analyzed the SDGs that are applicable to our business. So for example, SDG 1, out of 17 goals, we have 6 of them used in our company. The yellow ones are the ones that are initiatives and practices, programs and projects that are already aligned to the SDGs, because the goal is to improve the world we live in. And the opportunities we have found are 98. We are working on them now. We every year revisit this chart. Claudia talked about adhesion to citizen company, and we actually did that in the past 3 years. And we adhered to the program, which benefited the employees. In health and well-being, we identified one opportunity that we just recently implemented, the mental health program. We didn't have that in the company, and we identified as an opportunity and implemented. So this deep study of the SDGs, it provided us to make commitments to be met by 2030. So our activities, they generate impact, as Fabiano said in his presentation. And I have here some of those results. In terms of health and well-being, We have the commitment of 0 accidents in the workplace with leave. So we are working on the culture of health in the company, the renovation in the infrastructure. In the 6th SDG, we have the commitment of reducing the use of water per ton. So in the past year, our index of cubic meters per ton, we were able to reduce. Then the next SDG is about energy. Enrique mentioned about Gaia project that will generate by 2024, 2025, the high generation of energy and the production of renewable energy for businesses. And also about the SDG 12, we have the commitment of reducing and zeroing the scrap sent to the landfills. 7.5% of the scraps we have here, the wastes we have in the company, they are the non-damaging ones, no hazardous ones, because the hazardous ones, by law, they need to go to a different location. And also about the climate, the SDG 13, we are included in this low carbon economy. We talked about circular economy here, and this is included in that, but also in the economy of low carbon. Because of our forest activities, they capture the CO2 more than our emissions resulting from the industrial activities. In 2021, our balance was positive because we sequestered 41,000 tons more than we have actually emitted in our activities. So those companies are part of that, and the forest-based companies, they bring this natural feature for the business. So naturally, the companies who reforest and from the plantation, they produce, they trade, and they have the sequestering of CO2.
Exato, Sérgio. A gente tem projetos aí, iniciativas.
Exactly, Sergio. We have projects and initiatives that will be coming in the next slide to reduce
Com isso, o saldo ele vai
that and increase removal.
Para contribuir com esse ODS, nós temos a nossa.
We have been contributing for the SDGs already. We have items focused on the climate change. We have a recycling plant, a plastic recycling plant. That's exactly what I mean. People don't believe sometimes, but we are pioneers of recycling plastic inside a paper mill. We recycle all the paper scraps. So 5% of what comes from the paper scraps, they are not fiber, they are contaminants. And most of them, they are several types of plastic. So it is a common practice of companies to send that to a proper landfill. And from recycling the plastic, we get the plastic, we wash and trim, and we trade this plastic companies that we have been developing along the 10 past years to work with the mix of plastic, because the mixed paper cannot be recycled together. So other types of materials, they cannot be combined. So we need to separate, select all that. So just a few companies in Brazil are able to work with this plastic mix, which is different from paper because you can use paper and combine them and that's it. But on the plastic industry, it doesn't work this way. So we created a new product, a mixed scrap of recycled material. Some companies receive this material and they develop products based on the material we provide.
Faz mourão de cerca, vários produtos.
We have several products that are created with that. For example, for civil construction, this is the main example. I have others.
Quando a gente fala de
It is close to the plant. So when we talk about circular economy, it's not only our business, our main business that it is linked to the circular economy. We receive the scraps, we transform them, and we deliver to the market again. But in our production chain, we reinsert the materials in the process, so we increase the circularity of the plastic, which is a villain nowadays. We have other projects and initiatives to reduce the emissions. For example, we have changed our lamps, bulbs for LED ones. We are positive carbon in the company, and now I'm going to show you the main projects in the company.
2005, até antes.
Back in 2004, 2005, we performed the first report on greenhouse effects, and we wanted it to be approved by the UN, and we reached that with the cogeneration boiler. Back in 2006, we have replaced the thermal energy, the electric energy we used through fossil fuels, and we started generating biomass. 7,000 tons of carbon credits that we commercialize for companies that need to compensate their emissions. The second project approved was the one of treatments of effluents. We are revitalizing this project again.
25.000 toneladas.
We have been generating 25,000 tons with this project that
anaeróbica e agora passou a ser aeróbica. Esses projetos, eles foram pioneiros, inovadores no Brasil e no mundo.
These projects, they were pioneer in Brazil and in the world, and we generated around 20 million in revenue.
Eles foram aprovados em 2006 e 2008, cada deles.
They were approved in 2006, and they were approved for 21 years. So we'll have carbon credits up to 2029. A lot of companies are buying from us. They are having this carbon credit from us, and also we have a commercialization in a platform online. Thank you.
Não preciso, não. Passou esse aqui. Obrigado, Leandro. Quando a gente fala de...
Thank you, Leandro. When we talk about ESG, and we can perceive that different indicators Leandro showed, we do not achieve it. There is a milestone, but there is also other things, because there is a journey. There is the ESG commitment, and it has been shown here.
E a gente acredita no modelo porque primeiro.
And we believe that this model, we have this benefit to work with this renewable and sustainable packaging. But we understand that the best way to impact positively the society and people, the environment, and also to to have the profitability towards businesses. We are now going to talk about the ESG financial return. And if we don't have a financial return, then it is not ESG. We need to have a solution that is social, environmental, viable. And once we have this equation, it unlocks the risk capital towards the effects the society is asking for. And that is what we believe here at Irani. Our business, our core business, the product, the way we manufacture, it beneficiates everybody and it generates economical return. And now we have this methodology. We have that for many years, considering the strategic plan, Sergio, 2004. The first thing that we conducted was the strategic planning of Irani. So we have this methodology, and this map, it is bottom up, and by allocating people, energy, so that we'll be able to have a good process and have a differentiated financial return. So we'll be talking about the capital. The third, well, our shareholders, and how the performance of it. So the next 3 slides, I'd like to invite André to talk. He's our RI manager. And for those of you who to get to know him, I would like he to explain more about our action performance. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for being here with us. And for those of you who are following us online, it's a pleasure to be here. And this part, we feel very proud once we talk about our performance. The equity, it is the total return that we make it available for our stakeholders. So we have a performance that is above any index that we compare. So our total return was 99.9%, and that is considering the database September 3rd.
Valorizou 7,5% e o índice small cap.
And we valued 7.5%, and the index, there was a drop. So if we see any other periods, we also are able to observe these robust performance. 2021, we grew 34%, so 11%, and the Vol Caps index in 2022, we are now being able to deliver 23%, and there is a valuation of small caps, which is the reality of our organization, and 8.1% of drop. So
o grande case de sucesso dessa
Irani is the biggest success case, considering this capital offering and what happened in 2020, 2021. All of that is the consequence of what we are showing to you. All of our actions, our management, our people, it all reflects in one single performance. And today, we look forward, and we still have got many things to come. And the Gaia platform and this vision of the trends of our sector. So once we take into account, we value and we put a lot of importance with the dividends, as we believe the importance to strengthen the partnership for our shareholders. we have 25%
25%
every 3 months, 25%,
o nosso endividamento esteja abaixo de 2,5 vezes o EBITDA.
and also the EBITDA.
E isso mostra assim, o poder realmente dos dividendos nesse
And we
período.
also have some dividends in this very short period of time, June 2020
Valorizaram 76%.
until now. Our assets valued and our dividends, we had a 23.9%. So the total of return 99.9%. In a long term, we believe that having the contribution of the dividends return is a very important impact for us. And also, our dividends are growing. They are very robust. They are very strong. And we also have, as a capital, a very important strategy of our capital to generate value for our shareholders. And our e-commerce program, 2020, we recovered 7 million. We canceled 10,360,000 of actions, 2 million.
E iniciamos novo programa de recompras.
And then we also started a new program that we are now executing.
Seguimos fazendo trabalho muito.
So we are moving forward, having a very strong image with investors, and we have this vision to the net liquidity. And today our foundation is growing. So before the IPO, we had 3,000 shareholders, and now we have 47,000. So our average volume of daily negotiations since the IPO, we have 11.8 million of reais. That is a very positive number for us. And I would like to give the floor to our guest. Well, the APOs 2021, they said we were in second grade, and I believe that today we are in the first grade. So the actions, that there was a drop, decreased. So those of you who trusted, you had an exceptional return of invested capital. And more than that, you were able also to support us considering the manufacturing process of sustainable packaging and all of that. So that's why we believe that Irani is one of the best examples in practice considering the Brazilian stock market. And the capital stimulates the actions and decisions that we are in the right way. As for the capital and the financial part, the Gaia platform was financed BNDES funding with their own resources, the APO. So we've captured and we were able to have this funding. So it has been funding since the APO. The BNDES was an exceptional partner of us. The funding line, so 84 million. So we have 16 years to pay all the investment in installments. And that also helps us to increase our profit and investments. So now, I'm not able to provide you a lot of details, but so far it has been relevant for us. And we've released a debenture. It is ACRA, and this offering, we had the book building, and 720 million of reais in a period of 5 years, 486 million of reais which is a 5-year series, and the cost 140, and 7 years, 234 million, and CDI 75. So it is an inbound. So our strategy, it also reflects in the capitation instruments. So it's a green bond, and we also have the popular one. Our debt today, it is structured without this emission that is ongoing. The BNDES operation for 70 million, 16.2%, EBITDA issued 2019, and the green bond private 2021 with the CDI cost 68 million.
Praticamente bi 100, 1.1 bi. Essa dívida ela está 93% no.
So this debt is 93% in the capital market. We financed with the BNDES, so we don't have banking debts, and we have also local currency, and that is very important. The analysts, we don't have any dollar debts. It is only considering the Brazilian market, so there were no exchange rates. So it's easier to understand our capital structure, and 89% in long term. Our financial policy determines there is a leverage here, and we have been working in order to be below the target and not above the target. So we also have this distribution of dividends. And why have we conducted that? Well, we've had acquisition, investments. We know how it works on the Brazilian market, 2% a year. In 1 year and a half, it turns into 13.7%. So that is the Brazilian scenario. So that's why we should not have this leverage that is above. So now, in the execution of the Gaia platform, 92. The capital structure we've established as appropriate between 50 to 70%, and 70 for on capital, so you have 70% and 30, and now we have 48% of our own capital and 52% of third capital. Of course, the leverage is very important to have the return for the shareholders. It is well, we are able also to have fundings, financing, and the capitation cost. It is a fantastic tool in order to improve the return of the shareholders, but we need to be very careful towards it, having the correct currency, the correct instrument, and the correct level, because we are in Brazil, and we also have difficulties of credit, interest rates. So that's why we need to be very careful and have that action well controlled in order to have a very good financial health. So then the cost of new capitations will be better. So ESP, we also have this goal. We have the AA, then AAA. The AA allows us to access the capital market with very competitive resources. So we were able to see the cost of this emission, and we also want to keep that. We need to have a well-positioned performance as a whole, so that's why we are taking that into account, not to have anything to affect the company in the future. As for the magic cause of it, We have a capital return, a ROIC, WOC,
O nosso ROIC, olhando a ponta do ROIC, né? Que é
and
aquilo
our ROIC. As for the ROIC, the company produces operationally, and it's about what our businesses deliver. It is a financial summary and all the efforts that we have, sustainability, people, businesses, customer-centered, and all of that. So we are now having a ROIC 25%, and there's a growth, and it is in this curve, exceptional curve, 25%. It is higher than the companies here in Brazil, and also consider multinational organizations. So we compare with other organizations, public data. We've compared with our own data.
A resiliência, né, a robustez da performance operacional da companhia. E aqui nós mostramos o nosso custo de capital de terceiros.
And here we have the third-party capital, 9% in the second quarter. Will be disclosed in the third quarter by the end of October. Obviously, the line should be compared. It's not the debt, but the ROIC. In order to achieve the WOC result, we need to consider the equity. We don't release this number because the cost of the equity is different for each one. So your WOC is different. So the cost of the debt is here on this line, and it is compared to the ROIC. Any equity accounting will reach an intermediate line closer to the yellow line, which will demonstrate the delta, the generation of value for shareholders a long time. This is a very fantastic performance we are having, and we are working to maintain it. We had a very good performance on equity. The debt market is well managed. We had individuals involved that has our equity, and this is good for us to finance our expansion projects. And why do we call it differentiated value generation? Our business has ESG. We have visibility of results. I will repeat as much as you want because this is a very common question. We don't buy, we don't sell pulp, and we are not associated to the pulp price. So if you ask me about oil, then I'll have better answers about oil because we are not connected to the pulp business. As we are a unique packaging company listed in the stock exchange, we are the only one. So it is difficult to talk to investors about it because there is no comparison. We have in the international market, but not in Brazil. We are new in the market, in the stock exchange. Our IPO started in 2020, and we are clarifying more and more this business. Our ROIC is bigger than WOC. The Gaia platforms, they are not included in these figures. We have a conservative financial management. We have the dividends distribution associated to leverage, and which protects the company. And somehow the shareholders, they are benefited and they help us control leverage. We also have the dividends plus growth combo. We have something that we call dividends growth. And also we have stock repurchase program.
tem condição, não afeta.
It's about we have cash, so our strategy is not affected. So we are going to launch a repurchase, stock repurchase. So if the conditions are favorable, we are going to continue doing that. Well, by 2030, we want to continue growing and generating differentiated value to shareholders, to have a capital structure that is optimized, being self-sufficient in generation of renewable energy. Gaia platform is included, and we want to be innovative, diverse, and inclusive. This is a summary of our message for everyone present here or online. I hope you have enjoyed. And well, I'm done here, and we have the Q&A session.
Sérgio.
Please, Sérgio.
Fabiano também. Então agora a gente tem 20...
And also I would like to have here on the floor Mariano. We'll have 20-minute session of Q&A. We have also online questions and questions from the audience here.
Primeira pergunta veio online do
The
Paulo.
first question is online from Paulo Roberto in YouTube. Several questions in one. About the next investment cycle, will you focus on the increase of volume, and can you give details on the potential investments and how the financing will be done? Will you use debts, or the shareholders will be called to a follow-on?
Alô. Nós ainda temos alguns projetos na plataforma Gaia.
We still have some projects ongoing on Gaia platform, and Gaia platform has a concept of working Irony's current platform by reducing costs, bringing more productivity. And we have a project for rebuilding Machine 4, Machine 5, and we have some projects in the state of Minas Gerais. The projects are under the engineering stage, which is a basic stage, and we will be doing the development in the next months. They are very quick projects because they are working on our current base, and they complement the Gaia projects. We are also conceiving the next investment cycle. We are in the conceptual engineering stage supported by COI, and we are predicting the feasibility analysis, the forest topic, the return that we need to stress mostly, but it contemplates a duplication of pulp, and we need to check the forest matters. But the investments we are doing today, they contemplate the expansion of pulp. We have a new machine of paper to use the pulp, and being a hybrid machine that will have recycled fiber. In another packaging plant, we are reaching the limits of the plants. We are automating and optimizing projects. And for the next cycle, we want to have a new packaging plant. So these are basically our investment cycles, and it is guided for expansion. We want to gain margin. In the next cycle, we want to be more relevant in the market.
Vitor, tem lá. Quem que tá na frente aqui?
Oh, who will go first?
Vai lá depois aqui, Vitor, pode ser? Vai lá, Caio.
We can have the first question and then the other one there. Good afternoon. Thank you for your presentation. It was great. Very good hearing from you about your path and all your work. My question is similar to the one you just answered now, but I will talk a little bit about cycle because of your idea of expansion. You talked about the expansion and the demand for paper, cardboard, corrugated cardboard along the next years. But we can see now some competitors adding more capacity to their work. So I would like to know from you, because you talked about replacement of plastic and others, and how do you model that in the growth of demand, and how do you balance that with new inputs of capacity, especially in the corrugated cardboard business in Brazil? Because when we look at the 25% ROIC, which is amazing, it's amazing results you have built, but we wonder how long this will take, because it caught some attention, right? People want to be part of that. They really want to be part of such a promising business with such high numbers that we know it's not easy to build, but we know that this will attract new capacities. So how do you see the next cycle of demand for corrugated cardboard in Brazil in the next decade in Brazil? And the second question is how irony fits to the cycle of expansion, and do you see that there is actually room for the new capacities that you are considering to include? Thank you. Can I answer? Well, the first point is growing by 3% per year, which is predicted. We need to add more capacity, and our goal is to have 20,000 of capacity. And we don't see that happening in the country. And the limiter of this, it's not the corrugated cardboard business, it's actually the production of paper. And we have room for new capacities to meet the demand. And also we have room for more machinery in the national market. The national market has a lot of machinery that produces paper with a grammage even higher than the ones we produce, and they use more fiber per square meter. So that will still happen. And the big players, they just have competitors because of technology, and they are focused on technology and state-of-the-art paper production and state-of-the-art conversion plants. And the demand grows. And also we have some relevant competitors. Of course, this ROIC of 25% at an expansion, of course, it can vary. But our strategy, and according to our investments plan for the long term, we are expecting an even higher ROIC because we have an increase of generation of value in the same production. Well, from the previous question, maybe it was not so clear, but about the financing, and if you admit that if ROIC can drop, even though it is still above the capital cost, because with the strategy of capital cost that we are trying to maintain, we have access to credit to finance the expansions, and then we'll have a WACC that is smaller than the ROIC. Even if we are not able to sustain the ROIC, we have variation and we have room for that. And we strongly believe in more companies doing Brazil as a platform. And Brazil has a very big advantage in the sector. And we have great companies, but our position in the market will use this change of structure and we increase capacity, and we will reduce we will actually increase paper export. Well, to complement the second part of the question, in terms of your survey about expansion of capacity, I know you are still starting on that, but give me an idea of the size of your predictions, especially thinking about the corrugated cardboard machine. So tell me, what is more probable for you to have this investment? Would it be in Santa Catarina, Minas Gerais, or brownfield expansion? Or do you think about a greenfield expansion? And if this growth could be performed through VMNA, if you find a good opportunity, and if you still are analyzing this opportunity versus the one you already have in place? Well, a second line of pulp and a new machine line would definitely be in Santa Catarina, because there we can share the capabilities. We are close to the forest. The forest is located in the middle of the forest assets. It is so close. So in a machine with virgin fiber, of course, we would use the same factory. And also we'll have a greenfield project in a strategic location in Brazil. We have a large concentration in the south and southeast, and probably we'll have another plant in the southeast region, especially in the region near to the northeast and middle part of Brazil. In Minas Gerais plant, we have the possibility of having a corrugated cardboard machinery included, and we also have scrap paper in Belo Horizonte, and we can convert into corrugated cardboard in the same facility. And we also have cost competitiveness, because we have markets with the perception of value of the offer. We offer premium products, and the cost makes all the difference. And the ROIC means we have a competitiveness in cost that it is very good, and we will have it improved. And about M&A, M&A is a topic that we always talk about. We have been looking at opportunities, and we have an M&A that it is difficult to be built in an intensive capital market. A company that will be possibly acquired, they have different commercial practices and different practices within the company, and this removes some energy from the company, the current company, because we need to integrate a new culture, integrate the basis of the customer that maybe will not be sustained because it's different from the ones you already have. This is a very difficult effort to make. But on the complementary businesses, we want to increase the virgin fiber use. And even in the corrugated cardboard, for the companies that have similar technological level, maybe they will make some sense for us in the future. But we see the brownfield and greenfield as more interesting in most part of investments, especially with the position we have now in the market, because in the expansion in Santa Catarina, we fastly fulfill the capacity because I was selling to my client base. They already know us and they want more. So in 2 months, we reached that. I'll have Victor and then another.
Tem isso.
Obrigado. Então, primeiro, boa tarde.
Thank you. So, good afternoon. Congratulations for this event and the RI play here. So that's what we have been following, and so we acknowledge all of you. I am Vitor from Portal Small Caps. Well, I have a question that it goes through considering the previous answer. The future maintenance. So you've commented about the barrier of entry and also the financial issue, technological, but what about...
O Brasil é um país competitivo e no Brasil já tem já está começando uma limitação cada vez maior de florestas, e não é algo tão simples, não é só comprar floresta em todo plantio, que demora, sei lá, 4, 5 anos para se consolidar. Então, eu queria entender um pouco mais de vocês sobre essa parte de gestão florestal, como que vocês já estão se preparando para o futuro, se já tem prospecção de florestas, já estão plantando novas mudas também, e qual que é a estratégia que vocês têm para seguirem competitivos nessa área, e de que forma vocês enxergam que, de fato, isso é ou não uma barreira forte de entrada para novos entrantes. Obrigado.
Recording in progress.
Vamos lá. O que eu posso dizer para você? A sua pergunta é complexa, né? É até difícil responder. A gente tem as melhores práticas florestais.
Complex question. So we plant, and our cycle is 14 years, not even 4 or 5, but we still have people working on that. And as Sergio commented about, within our future plan, and in order to duplicate pulp, we need to have more forests, more wood for this project. And we are in a large study phase, so we are well connected to that. And once we advance towards that matter, you will be able to know. Okay, but the demand for wood has slightly increased, and
retrato desse movimento.
So that's a portrait of that movement. We have an area that there's a lot of forestation, and we also have neighbors with large areas of forests, so we can have partnerships. And obviously, that will also contemplate acquisition of lands. So we are defining the strategic movement, and we want to have a return perspective, because it's about a lot of investments, and oftentimes, like, it is not within what we have today, considering the purchase of lands in Brazil. And we are also competing against agricultural lands and soil. So that is a challenge for us. And anyhow, it is very impressive considering our other countries. So I truly believe that in a medium term, great companies will turn into big export organizations. Hello, good afternoon. Congratulations for this event. So it's very good to have this initiative participated also. So it's a good example. And my thinking here, the question about the forest has been answered, but there's another question. What about taxation and the credits and apparatus? I'd like to know about the exemption of paper scraps, and also the COFINS calculation. That is official now, and I'd like to know if there is anything else about that. How is the taxation process? The ICMS and COFINS, we monetized it, so it's now over. We've incorporated this new technology. And the other topic towards the paper scraps and the credits, we have an action, and we have a favorable answer towards that, but our action hasn't been fully concluded. We have estimation of values and prices, 170 million. But we are still awaiting for the judgment process in order to recover this credit and move forward. Towards that, PISO and COFINS, a monetary correction, that would not have tribute. But there's another discussion that
a última linha ou tem alguma tributação? E minha pergunta agora como investidor é se isso vai para a política de dividendos ou se ele é excluído dos dividendos.
I would like to know about the dividends. How is that? Well, first, it is part of it because the net profit, we will monetize the credit and it will generate cash, not in a short term, but in 2 years, consider the COFINS. So it will return as a dividend and it will be part of it. So, and also Selic rate, we are still awaiting for the judgment. And for the taxation,
Mas a correção do crédito, sim.
With the correction of the credit, we have another action that will be applied, PIS and COFINS, because we were able to tax it. So we still have some time. Those of you who are online, please don't forget. Let's just have another online. For those of you who are online, we will also have the quiz. It is an information that we've got today. So a question online from Paulo Roberto. What about having this high interest rate up to 2023? What is the impact that can be generated for the ROIC debt? And what are the actions to mitigate this impact? In the ROIC, I think there is no much impact. So it is an operational metric, and perhaps it would affect the demand, but it's not the case because a high interest rate for ROIC should not have a relevant impact. As for debts, we have the CDI, the CDI 4.5, and part of it will be paid 13.75, PSCA high, and now we have a low interest rate. So the problem is once we have this high interest rate as we have now, with 3 or 4 times plus with dividends, so then the interest affects our cash flow. And we've been through that in the past, right? Yeah. So we know what to do because we've got that in the past. And EBITDA is also important, but that's not our reality today. That's not our reality today. Today we are 8.1 times. So yes, the interest rate is very concerning. We don't like to pay interest rates. And this is 3. We have a percentage of that. And the inflation, we historically were able to recover it through profitability, the billing. So it is a very defensive sector. So if we are being fined because of that, then we will be able to recover. We will be able to recover that because we have all the costs and the interest. And at this level of demand, we were able to have to pass it through, and even considering wood above the inflation. So we were able to pass it through, and it's a trend for us to pass it and keep with this level. Another question. Another question here. Victor's question about the Forest Foundation. I know that it shouldn't be easy. So if you could please tell us to what extent would you be able to invest in that? And if you can calculate it considering the market, it is very high, right? So how willing would you be to do that? And second question would be the carbon credit. As you showed the other projects, nothing about the forests. So how is it? We are still developing, but we are far from reaching the results. So I'd like to know the impact of it for the company, and that's my question.
A percepção de valor da empresa é o valor dos ativos biológicos e das terras, as terras principalmente.
It is about the value of the biological assets and lands. The lands are not at a fair value, especially in Brazil, because we have an asset which is lower than the actual value. For the next cycle, we are still analyzing, so it would be premature to say whether we will be investing in timber funding or long-term agreements or partnerships. I believe we'll do a combo of those alternatives as long as they have an adequate return. We are always looking for the return, and we want forest-based, which is important for the sector. It is premature, so I cannot say how many millions will be invested in purchase and in partnerships. It will depend on our leverage, and maybe we'll have a transition to purchase more later on, but we need to respect our financial policy at this moment.
Nós estamos com um especialista ali,
vem cá,
We have a specialist here. But I will answer, and then you correct me if I'm wrong. We have the MDLs shown there. It doesn't exist more because it was within the Kyoto Protocol. But in terms of forest, we have two ways of doing that. Planting forests in degraded areas, which is not our case. We don't have degraded areas. And the other one is protecting forests, the native forests, if they are having fires or something like this. Yes, because of the areas that are closer to the Amazon, we have the pressure for deforestation for the agriculture. So those forests, they are eligible for the project, which is not our case. We have the carbon credit. Maybe we'll be able to monetize that in a voluntary market, something like this, but not in the methodologies that today we can do the issuance. For those who are online, you can send me an email for those who are online. And also, the quantity of carbon that irony is in the balance with the positive carbon, we talked about it. How much have we removed, emitted? And we removed more than we emitted. Well, we need to know. So I want you to tell us if you know the number, because we show that in the presentation. And then for those who get it right, we'll send you a T-shirt. Okay? So ri@rne.com.br. So let's have lunch. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure being with you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Upon the wall, it hides a nasty stain that's lying there. I'm not in love, so don't forget it. It's just a silly face I'm going through. Yeah. And just because I call you up, don't get me wrong, don't think you got it made. I'm not in love, I'm not
I know your eyes in